Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Williams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Williams.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It tonight here at Studios 808 up here at Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. We're in Studio B tonight. I am Ralph Williams. It's a happy new year. It's 2023, but I have some sad news and I have some potentially I have some sad news tonight. Brackenridge section of the city of Pittsburgh tonight. Brackenridge community. The police chief was shot and killed tonight, trying to stop a guy or to serve a warrant to a guy, and then the guy got away and he ended up in Homewood. City police have just reported he has been shot and killed. So the suspects shot and killed the police chief in Brackenridge. I want to send my condolences out to his family, from my family to his as well. Tonight for this, it's sad to hear these things happen, but it has. There's another officer of Brackenridge Police Department critically wounded. He's in the hospital right now, and my prayers go out to him and his family as well. It's great to be here to start off 2023 on January 2nd here on The Way I See It. We're live here every Monday night at 7 p.m. as we are every Monday night at 7 p.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're in Studio B tonight here at Studios 808. I have some announcements to make tomorrow night. Sports Corner with myself, Smoke, and Jim Frazier. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. 8:30 start time. Our guest tomorrow night, Steve Bellisari from the New England Patriots, talk about the Patriots' victory over the Miami Dolphins, and then we're going to have Avi Greenwald come on, and he's going to talk about the Miami Dolphins and their loss to the New England Patriots and the fact that they are now down to a sort of a fourth-string quarterback, more or less, as far as that goes with the Miami Dolphins. Wednesday night, 7:30. Live on the same four platforms here is Talking Wrestling with myself and Smoke and Jim Frazier. Thursday night, doubleheader. You're going to love this one, everybody. If you live in Allegheny County, you need to be tuned in at 6 p.m. To PCTV Channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon Cable. The Year in Sports Review. And my panel will be Smoke and Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, myself, and a special guest. And one of Claudio's friends, we're going to have him come on. It's a special guest. You'll find out on Thursday night, 6 p.m. We'll take your phone calls at 412-231-2288 on Thursday night. This Thursday, the Year in Sports Review. We're going to talk about the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins, and the University of Pittsburgh Panthers as well. Their football team just come off a great win over the weekend, or on Friday, against the UCLA Bruins in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. So that's coming up, and we're going to be talking about that as well tomorrow night, myself and Smoke and Jim Frazier. Our guest, Avi Greenwald, talk about the Miami Dolphins, and Steve Bellisari to talk about the New England Patriots, all tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Sports Corner with myself, Smoke and Jim Frazier. Also Thursday night is part of our doubleheader. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. Wrestle Talk, myself, Smoke and Jim Frazier, Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California. And we're going to be talking about wrestling and a little bit of sports as well. All right, let's get into our segment on our segment of the Chinese wisdom. There does not seem too much use being anything. If you be an optimist, it says be an optimist. There does not seem too much use being anything else. And that is tonight's Chinese wisdom. All right, our blast segment is brought to you by DJ Fun. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317. DJ Fun has extended his special. He had a special where if you booked for 2023 last year, you got 2022 prices. Well, guess what? DJ Fun has alerted me today that he will give you 2022 rates for the entire month of January if you book for this year. All right, the entire month of January, and that is it. He cannot go any further than that. So what you want to do is you want to get on the phone today and call 412-545-4317. Call DJ Fun, because DJ Fun, it will not be done, because he is your best party DJ in the entire area. Give him a call today. He's been doing it for over 15 years. Okay, let's tonight, our blast segment, we're going to start off. I want to blast Southwest Airlines. You know something? You guys are Southwest Airlines, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be out of business. Okay? For you to do what you did to everybody was wrong. You couldn't, you have an antiquated system. Your pilots came out publicly and said that you have an antiquated system, that you also, and you know, why does this stuff continue to happen in our country? And, you know, and the thing that really gets to me about this is, with Southwest, is they should know better. Usually Southwest is a pretty decent airline that usually takes care of their customers. What I don't understand is how in the world they didn't take care of their customers at all in this whole situation. I just don't get it at all. I'm blasting you tonight, Southwest Airlines. That is the way I see it. Next, Hopewell Area School District. For having kids subjected to a building that has rodents. Hopewell, something wrong with you, because you shouldn't have a school district building filled with rodents. Okay, that again, students. If I'm a parent here, I'm angry about this, because this is unacceptable. Not only just to me, but it should be unacceptable to you as a parent who sends your kid to the Hopewell School District. That tonight is the way I see it. Next, the Turnpike Commission. Oh, you know something? I'm tired of hearing them whine and complain. We're going to talk today, but I'm blasting two different entities. First, I'm blasting the Turnpike Commission, because you robbed people $300,000 over the last year in all overcharging people on Easy Pass. And your system continues to do this, okay? I blame you for this, the Turnpike Commission, because you should fix this problem. It needs to be fixed. It's a shame what goes on with you. That is the way I see it tonight. Next, the people who are thieves, the ones who don't pay their tolls to the Turnpike. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, because coming into the new year, how about paying your tolls? But guess what? There's new laws out there, all you folks who continue to just keep on driving, and you think you don't have to pay your tolls, and you just keep on doing it. Well, guess what? If you're even so much as $250, they're going to take your driver's license. They are going to suspend your registration. So guess what, all you thieves out there who continue to do this, I'm blasting you tonight. That is the way I see it. All right, next, Roosevelt. The Roosevelt Apartments downtown. In case you were not aware, and you know, there are folks who watch this program, and there are folks all across the country and around this town who simply do not keep themselves informed, because they're too busy worrying about playing around on Xbox and PlayStation and whatever, okay? Well, it turns out that, okay, the Roosevelt downtown Pittsburgh, it's an apartment. It's what they call a mixed, some of it's Section 8, some of it's fixed rent apartments, okay? Well, it turns out now that they had a fire down there. The Section 8 people, okay, got taken care of by agencies here in Allegheny County, and got taken care of by the Red Cross. I'm blasting the management for not taking care of the others who pay rent there at the Roosevelt that are not Section 8. Okay? Shame on you for this, the management of the Roosevelt. You put them up in a hotel, and then you didn't pay the bill last time. I blasted you for that last week to end the year, and I'm blasting you again the beginning of the year, because now I'm hearing that the people who actually pay rent and are not on Section 8, they're the ones who have to go out and look for somewhere else to stay, and are staying in hotels at their expenses. All right? So the Roosevelt, shame on you, Roosevelt management. That is the way I see it tonight. Next, I want to blast McKees Rocks. I want to blast the government. I want to blast the mayor, city council in McKees Rocks. And the reason I'm doing this tonight is because I found out that they want to close down the volunteer fire department because the contract ran out. Now, let me ask you this. First of all, how can you close down a volunteer fire department when you need a fire department to fight fires? Well, now I'm finding out that you're putting pressure on other areas like Preston, Kennedy, some of the other areas. And I know I lived in McKees Rocks, okay? I actually thought that we still had this, they still had the same old mayor, Jack Muir. Well, I come to find out that no, Jack Muir is no longer there. There's a new mayor, okay? All right. So anyway, but you know what? I'm blasting you tonight, the mayor of McKees Rocks. I'm not only blasting you, I'm blasting the council for McKees Rocks, because you should be ashamed of yourself, because you need to get this fire department, either the contract up to speed, you need to either make it a paid fire department so that you can fight the fires without having other departments have to do it for you. And that tonight is our blast segment, brought to you by DJ Fun. Party, weddings, special events. Call DJ Fun today. The price is right. And please call today. Don't delay. 412-545-4317. Boneheaded moves tonight. I want to say this boneheaded move to this kid. He was 16 years old Saturday, going into New Year's Eve, going into the wee morning hours of New Year's Day. He decided that he was so drunk that he was going to try to jump off the Birmingham Bridge. So the police had to waste their time, obviously, and go over there and stop him from doing it. That is the first one. That is the first of our boneheaded segment tonight here on The Way I See It tonight. So anyway, I want to bonehead the people who got so drunk that they were fighting, literally fighting on the South Side Saturday night. I want to blast you tonight for that, because in my opinion, that's a shame. You shouldn't have been doing that at all. You know what I mean? I understand you want to get drunk for the new year, and that's all well and great, but you know what? You shouldn't do that. Yeah, exactly. You were getting drunk, getting completely out of control, and then you went ahead and you caused the fights and everything else on the South Side on New Year's Eve. That is my boneheaded segment tonight for you here on The Way I See It. Tonight we're going to get into my life story. Not much going on this week. I basically was last week, of course, going into the new year, I did some shopping at the Shop and Save over in Greentree on Noblestown Road. Interesting enough, I haven't been in there in a long time. I used to live in Crafton Heights. My wife and her friend and I, we decided to go to the Shop and Save over in Noblestown Road. So what had happened was, when we were there, the place wasn't really busy. They were, I would say, average stocked as far as stocking goes, being stocked up. They were pretty average stock. Now, I will tell you this. They had some really good baggers there that bagged the groceries. And then they also had I had a really nice cashier. And the nice thing about it was I was able to get in and get out pretty quickly without having to wait in line for hours like you do at a Walmart or anything else, or even at a Giant Eagle perhaps. But I thought the Shop and Save there was okay. They have what some establishments are having now, because they have special licenses now, for this, and that's slot machines. And one of the businesses around here has that license as well. And so does the Shop and Save on Noblestown Road. So you can go in there, you can play slot machines, just like if you were going to the casino. The only thing is they only have like a couple, maybe two at the most. I think that's all you're really allowed, okay, with your license. So basically, they have, two machines in there. And I guess if you don't want to take the time to go to the casino, it actually works out for you. So I encountered that. And then my year started off with some interesting stuff. Before the New Year's weekend, my bank account got hacked yet again. $600 somebody spent at a Walmart illegally. I get all these packages from Walmart that I didn't order. Had to call Walmart, had to fix it, had to call a bank, had to fix that. You know what kind of inconvenience that is. But the interesting thing is, it happened before the new year. And that kind of got to me a little bit, because I says, what a way to, what a way to start off the new year with that stuff happening. And I was told by some people, And you know what? I kind of got offended by this. Some people telling me I'm not a happy person. Really? Well, this person who said this is because I made some comments about the Pitt game, the game on Friday, which I have egg on my face because Pitt won 37-35. I thought they were going to get blown out like 45-10 or something to that effect. I didn't expect Pitt to win this game. I didn't even take them to win if I was to bet. I probably wouldn't have took them to win. I don't think anybody did. I think a lot of people lost money at this game, unless they bet on Pitt. Okay, but Pitt stood no chance. And this, I had some of these people tell me I'm unhappy or I'm not a happy person. You know what? I am a happy person. What I'm not happy about is when a football team makes mistakes, and especially the simple stuff, like a false start or whatever you want to call it, when they beat themselves. And when they start to beat themselves and, they miss a field goal, you're paying a kicker $10 million a year and he misses a simple chip shot field goal. I have issues with that. Okay. I really do. I have issues when you pay a guy $18 million a year and he drops passes. Okay. I have problems with that stuff. And yeah, I express my opinion on Facebook. It might not be a happy opinion. Okay. But you know what? I express my opinion just like everybody else. But see, here's the thing. I get on people for certain things, and I'm called a communist. Okay. I get called names all the time. I'm called a communist. All right. I get on people when I'm out and about that are running around in 20 below zero weather with shorts and sandals on, and they call me a communist because they're trying to say, well, it's a free country. I can run around whenever I want. Okay, fine. You do what you want. Okay. But when you're at home and you can't play games with little Johnny, little Mikey, or little Susie, and you're sick, and then you want to know why. Well, that's why. Okay. And I said this on the last show, at the last show of 2022, and I'm going to say it today here for the first show of 2023. Common sense went out the window a long time ago. Stupid never takes a vacation, and our new theme is I don't care, or nobody cares, because technically no one does. Nobody cares at all. All right, and that is where we are here in this country and in this town today. Nobody cares. Tell me a story about somebody who really cares about everything. I mean, I know I'm not saying everybody is the victim of this. Okay, there are a lot more people out there who really do not care more than there are people who do care. Okay, and that is sad. It's really awful. That is why my theme for this year on The Way I See It will be I don't care, or nobody cares, because nobody does. Okay? No one cares at all. And, everyone has bad attitudes because they don't care. Okay? And that's the way it is. And there's not a whole lot you can say. Because you get called a communist. I have a right to not care. I have the freedom to not care. All right? Which is which shouldn't be the case in all points of perspective here. All right? Shouldn't be that way at all. None whatsoever. But it is. Nobody cares. The city doesn't care if your streets get salted. The Pittsburgh police don't care if something happens. But I will tell you this, they're getting better. Okay? The zone area where I live, Zone 3, we have a new commander. Thank goodness. All right? The Pittsburgh police are doing better. They're starting to get better. I think there's going to be a shift in the way they are. Okay? They were not people police for a little while there. And the reason I say this is because, excuse me for a minute here. The reason I say this is simply because, I have encountered some issues with the Pittsburgh police that I found appalling. All right? A parked car parked in front of a private driveway, and you're walking right by it, and you say, that's not my problem, that's parking's problem, and you're a sergeant, 2 sergeants, 2, not 1, but 2 sergeants, okay? that were actually walking by my building and were like, well, here we are, okay, walking by. And I said to them simply, aren't you going to do anything about this? They're illegally parked there. They're blocking our driveway. Emergency vehicles can't get in. What are you going to do about it? Oh, that's not our problem. That's parking's problem. Okay. I really hope for 2023 that goes away. Tell me tonight what your thoughts are in 2023. What do you plan to do to change your life? Do you have a plan? Maybe not. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a New Year's, what they call New Year's resolution, okay? Whether it's to change something in your life, change the way you can do things. Maybe you want to lose a ton of weight. Maybe you want to, do better in your marriage, or maybe you want to, get with God. Anything. It could be just about anything in 2023. And of course, we all have that wish of being rich in 2023. Maybe you're going to become prosperous in 2023. What's going to happen for you? What do you have planned? What do you want to do for 2023? Do you want to do something to make yourself better? Or do you want to stay the same? Okay. Do you want to go out and get a job instead of sitting around playing on Xbox and PlayStation and help our economy? No. That's the same thing you did last year and the year before that and the year before that. And then, COVID hit and you really did it. Okay. All right. Yeah, you did. And it all comes down to you don't care. Because in most perspective, most people right now do not care about anything or anybody. And again, as I've said before, that's a sad situation. Something that I really, really, just, it makes me sick. It really makes me sick that this is the way it is today. It really is. Okay. That everybody, that nobody cares. It's everywhere. Okay. Last year, it was nothing. And I experienced a lot of that last year. And this year, we're going to experience a lot of nobody cares. All right. Nobody cares at all. And that's why we're in the situation we are in. Okay. Our president starts with the president. He doesn't care. If he cared about what was going on in this country, he would do more to fix it. Okay. The one thing he has done, President Biden, is the infrastructure package. But guess what? It took for that 9-mile run bridge to fall, okay, before you discovered that we need an infrastructure package. All right. COVID was part of that problem. Okay. So this past year, was a lot of people got out of their homes. A lot of people finally were able to go out and party. They were able to go to Kennywood Park. They were able to do things. They all, everybody somewhat got their shots. Others didn't. There are people out there that are still living, it's still in their homes, that still have not gone out and got their shots. And guess what that is? That's, you don't care. You don't care. It is that simple. You do not care. When you do not want to go out and get shots to help, if you have a medical problem, fine, I don't have a problem with you. All right. But I have a problem with you when you don't go out and get shots. Okay. And you want to infect everybody else. And you have this thing that, well, I have a constitutional right not to go out and get a shot. Okay. So what does that say? You don't care. I have some key topics here tonight about some stuff of people who don't care. And let's talk about Southwest Airlines and the blast I did earlier. Do you accept their apology? If you're someone who got displaced by Southwest Airlines, do you accept their apology? I wouldn't. Because it's disgraceful. It's disgusting to run an airline like that. During the holidays, the most important part, the most important thing that is going on in this country is the holiday season. And Southwest Airlines blew it. They blew it. They really did. Something big time. Okay? They blew it something awful. And it's really sad. And I'm glad I wasn't traveling because somebody would be paying me. Luggage backed up at Pittsburgh International. People had to drive from Chicago to Pittsburgh to get their luggage and then drive back to Chicago because Southwest could not guarantee that their luggage could get there. It's really sad about what Southwest has done to people. And this is bad for them. And the reason I say this is bad for them, because now they're going to lose business. People are going to go elsewhere. What, Southwest thinks they're the only airline in the world? No. No, they're not. I would fly somewhere else, or I would drive. Because at least if I'm driving, excuse me again. If I was driving, at least I know I can get there. Okay? I don't fly anymore because it's an inconvenience. TSA has to learn how to treat people with better respect. I'm a handicapped person that's in a wheelchair. I cannot, get up and walk long distances. I can barely walk. I have started walking better with a cane, a little bit here and there. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is this, and that is that do not accept Southwest's apology. And the interesting part about all this is the CEO of Southwest, or the person who was on there apologizing, had somewhat of a little bit of a smile on his face. Do you accept that? I wouldn't. I would not accept that at all from Southwest Airlines. I would not even travel during the holidays anymore because it's becoming more and more of an inconvenience. Now, don't you think with the new year coming up, you can make things easier on your life? Instead of making it more inconvenient, how about making it more easier for yourself? And one of them is not traveling, not giving Southwest business. Now, I know some people have to fly out west to the West Coast, to the California, Nevada, Arizona, places like that, Oregon maybe, I don't know. I can live with that. I can understand that. The train is not a bad idea from what I hear. I've watched some videos of people who have ridden Amtrak trains and tell me it's not a bad thing if you have the time. All right. For me, it wouldn't work. I would probably have to sit in coach. I'm handicapped. It's not hard for me to be in a sleeper car. All right. I hear they have nice dining cars with food, good food. But I hear they haven't gone back to the menus yet. I hear they're still doing wrapped up food, from what I hear. All right. 2023. What did you learn from the holiday season, everybody? What did you learn? Did you learn that you can't travel during the holidays with Southwest Airlines? That's the way I see it tonight. Next. County employees suing for the firings for vaccines. I had a suspicion there was going to be a copycat effect here. And the reason I say there was going to be a copycat effect is because there are former employees of PRT, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, who are currently suing for or going after Port Authority in a lawsuit because they claim they were wrongfully terminated. Okay. I've had this argument with PRT and people with PRT. I've spoken at their board meetings, And in case you don't know, I'm the president of the Allegheny County Transit Council. So I work hand in hand with Port Authority. All right. So what happened here is that they had terminated a bunch of drivers who refused to or operators and maintenance people who refused to take or get COVID tested or get COVID shots. Okay. Once again, we're at this level here, which I went through for the last 2 years. And again, I was called a communist. I'm not going to let the government tell me what to do. Okay. All right. Okay. I can look at this at two ways. The union workers violated a company policy. The company policy was that you had to get COVID shots. They had made a COVID policy, was violated. But again, I could look at this other perspective. Let's take a look at PRT now for a moment before we go into about the county employees now. All right. Some of these county employees say, some of the ones that were brought back, that they're being mistreated poorly by management because they're saying that because they refused to take the COVID shot and the union fought for their job, or however that goes, that now the employer is treating them disrespectfully. They're not treating them accordingly or anything like that. All right. Is that the case? I don't know. But the county employees now are filing a lawsuit against the county. And you know who I kind of blame for this? I blame Deborah Bogan and I blame Rich Fitzgerald for this. Okay? And the reason I blame them for both of these things happening is because they made these strict guidelines and really stuck it home to everybody. All right? Again, here we are being a dictator. All right? The problem I have with Rich Fitzgerald is there's no wiggle room with him. Okay? It's either his way or no way. And he doesn't care that people can't get a bus, because if he did, he would let Port Authority, PRT, rehire these drivers. All right? They wouldn't have been fired in the first place. Which is why I have been online with the board, every single board meeting now with PRT, and I've spoken out that they need to bring these drivers back. Because PRT has a big problem right now. And their problem is they don't have enough personnel to cover the routes. So every time that we have a pick, they have to cut the route down. People have to wait longer for a bus or something, or the T perhaps. They take vehicles out of service, okay, because they don't have an operator for them. But then I have Port Authority telling me, oh, well, they violated the rules. But don't you see the crisis you have? And what does this do? Right into my theme for the new year. Nobody cares about the bus rider. Nobody cares about the fact that they don't have employees to salt streets for the county, or they don't have employees to do what has to be done at county offices. And they don't care about how they treat their employees. So this is where we are now. We have two sets of people suing because of COVID. And COVID has already made a total disaster of everything that's gone on in this entire nation. Between cities shutting down and restaurants and bars and, and everything else, okay, who got no support, but they did it to themselves because it's real simple. If every restaurant in the nation and bar could have took $10 and put it away and went out and got a high-priced lawyer to fight, they would have been open right now, but they didn't. And that's because that's nothing. But guess what also that is? You don't care. You didn't care about your business. You didn't care about your restaurant. You didn't care about what you were doing to fight. All right? Rich Fitzgerald and the county brass don't care either. Deborah Bogan, another one. If you cared, you would have done something to ease things a little bit so that people could work. But you didn't. And now the bus rider has to suffer because of this. What a way to start the new year off with my very first show of the new year here on The Way I See It. If you're new to the show and you decided that you're going to spend your new year watching and listening to my show, good for you. Welcome aboard. And I want to thank those who have subscribed, because I was at 56 at the beginning of December. And I put a call out. I said, look, I'm looking to get 60 by the end of the year. And I got 66. I got 66. I went 6 over my expectations. And I thank you for that. I really do. All right. I thank you for it. Because the reason why I thank you so much for this is because I appreciate the fact that you watch this program steady. And I know you appreciate me being here every Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk the way I see it. I'm so dedicated to you that when I go on trips, I do it from where I'm at. All right. In October, I did not. And I'm sorry. But usually I do. That's how dedicated I am. Do you see what I'm getting at? That tonight is the way I see it. Next. People who owe money to the Turnpike. Look, everybody. It's a new year. Let's get started paying the Turnpike. Okay? The Turnpike has spent the last several years crying away about the fact that they don't have any money. And they don't. Former executive Joe Brinmeyer stuck his hand in a cookie jar. Okay? They owed or were supposed to pay every year $250 million to cover the cost for roads and mass transit. Okay? But here we are again. The Turnpike is hurting. So they got to raise easy toll passes. Okay? They got to raise this pass, that pass. Okay, if you watched my blast segment earlier when we started the show, I blasted the Turnpike Commission. Why? Because they jacked up or their computer system or something like that, which again, shame on them, because they should have had this nipped in the butt and they didn't. They're trying to go after people to make up for $300,000 that they overcharge people. Okay? And now they got to fix this mess because they messed it up on everyone's easy pass. All right? So once again, the Turnpike Commission is at it again. All right? They're at it again because they're taking from people. $300,000 they took from a bunch of people. Overcharged them for their easy pass. Oh, it's a computer problem. Oh, we got that problem. Oh, we got this problem too. Your problem is when your lips move, you lie. That's what your problem is. We had a lot of that last year. Okay? I'm going to give you an example in the music industry, in the music business. Darius Rucker. You know who he is? The lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish. I don't want to be with you. Yeah. Okay. About a year ago, he said, Hootie lives forever. I'll never go back to country music. I'm staying with Hootie. Hootie and the Blowfish. Well, guess what? He lied. He's back in country again. And he lied last year because I saw him on the New Year's Eve thing last year. And this year as well. And I call him the liar because he lied. I know what you're saying. Oh, people are allowed to change their mind, you know. Yeah, they are. Okay. I had originally planned to do something, but that doesn't make me a liar. I changed my mind with my church. I was supposed to stay on as a deacon, and I decided to step away. And I am now a part-time member of my church. Okay? I'm not satisfied with the fact that the direction of the church. So I'm going to still be with the church because I enjoy going to church. Church is supposed to be an enjoyment. You're supposed to go to church to enjoy, to have a happy day praising God, saying prayers, because there are people out there who need prayer. All right. But when I have to go to a church and I'm a deacon and my family and I get disrespected and there's things that are happening, okay, I have decided for 2023 not to be a deacon no longer and to become a part-time member. I will still help the church. I work in production with the church at times, and I'm liturgist. This Sunday, tune into our church's live stream service or come to our church at Eastminster Presbyterian in East Liberty, and I will be a liturgist this Sunday. Okay? January 8th, 10:30 a.m. And I will be on the online platform. I made changes in 2023. Did you? So how about everybody out there, and I blasted you too, who's stealing from the Turnpike Commission? Who's stealing? Theft. Not paying your tolls. All right? And now you really did it. If you have $250 that you owe, they're going to start taking your registration of your car. They're going to start taking your driver's license. And then what you'll do is you'll sit home like a deadbeat and you'll play PlayStation and Xbox and blame the Turnpike Commission because you can't work. I know it. I can tell. And I don't even need a crystal ball. I know what you're going to do. Those of you who steal from the Turnpike. You want to ride the Turnpike. You want the roads to be good, but you don't want to pay for it. I know what you're complaining about. Oh, the Turnpike fees went up again. Well, don't use the Turnpike. I got this to say. God invented GPS. Use it. Find another way if you don't want to pay for it. Okay? But don't steal from the Turnpike. But I blame the Turnpike too for stealing from people. That's stealing. Charging extra fees and that's stealing. And I want to give you another example of how we don't care in this nation today. Have you realized that when you go out there now and you go to a gas station to get gas and you have a debit card? A lot of people don't know this. Okay. And the convenience stores, they're licking their chops at all this because they want you to go inside to use your card inside rather than using it at the pump and paying at the pump. So you go inside and buy more things at the store. There's no more paying at the pump that much anymore because the convenience stores and the the fuel companies are making it hard for you. You want to know what they're doing? If you have a debit card and you put gas in your vehicle, fuel, they will take $55 out of your account. I didn't authorize you to take $55. That's theft. But guess what? Nobody cared to do anything about it. I haven't heard anybody else say anything on any other show, or I haven't seen anything on the news saying that, oh, we have a revolt going on where for one whole day, nobody in Pittsburgh bought gas to tell these gas companies to stop doing this. Okay? What do? We continue to take it. And that right there is an example of what I have said for our theme for this year is I don't care, is nobody cares. Because if you cared, you would have done something. So what did you do? You did nothing. Once again, nothing. You didn't go to your congressman. You didn't go to your senator. You didn't write letter to the president. You didn't scream and cry. You didn't do nothing. Nothing. You didn't do a thing. I guess it's okay when the fuel company steals $55 out of your bank account. They put it back in, but they shouldn't take it out in the first place because that's theft. Okay? But you don't see it that way at all. Am I right or am I right? I'm right. Because that is the way I see it. Next. Well, let's go into, here we go. The Roosevelt tenants. I blasted the ownership earlier tonight here on the beginning of the show and the way I see it here. And I'm very upset and very angry about this, that the Roosevelt has left their tenants out to dry. Now, maybe the tenant who caused the fire, I could maybe understand that a little bit. Okay? It was because of their negligence that the whole 106, everybody in their building now is homeless. Okay? And again, what does that come right to? Nobody cares. Because if you cared, you wouldn't have caused a fire in the building. If you cared, you would have been a little more careful about how you cook. If you cared, you wouldn't have smoked in the building. Whatever it was that you did to cause this fire. Okay? And now you have to put strain on the Red Cross. You have to put strain on the agencies that are already strained for homeless stuff. You had to put a strain on this and that. But I have a problem when management says they're going to pay for stuff to put you up somewhere at a hotel and then don't pay the bill and then the hotel boots you out. I have a problem with that. And I'm calling out the management of the Roosevelt tonight because I think that's wrong. And now there are people saying they can't find another place to live. They have nowhere to go. And they're not on Section 8 because the Section 8 people, as I mentioned earlier in the blast, that's a multi-unit building where they have Section 8 and they have people who pay a base rent. All right? And now the people who pay the base rent had to stay at the convention center for a little while. Now, what happened to that, I don't know. I think they have things going on there, and they can't have these people there. All right? But this hotel kicked, and I know this for a fact because I looked into it, kicked these people out because of the Steeler game last week. Okay? What, these people, what? They claimed the bill wasn't paid, which I don't believe, which I was told it was not the case. They didn't like them folks being there. They wanted them out. Because the almighty Steeler fans are here. We can't do this to them. Okay? So here we are. Kick out people who need a place. And you think the hotel doesn't care. Doesn't care. Because if they did, they wouldn't have booted these people out of the hotel. I have tonight on this program, the way I see it for 2023, have given you a dozen or more reasons why my theme for this year is nobody cares. Because that's it right there. Nobody cares. All right, let's talk about some other topics here. We have about 10 minutes left in the program. New rideshare company starting up called Empower. They're going to be getting started real soon. They're going to compete with Uber and Lyft. Good. Uber and Lyft need competition. I've said it for years. They control the monopoly. And if Uber decides to buy Lyft, we're all in trouble. Because then if you need a vehicle, you're going to have to deal with Lyft, which is good for Z-Trip Cab because that gives them an opportunity to make back business. I am working on getting Jamie Campolongo on my one-on-one show to talk with him about today's Z-Trip Cab. And as soon as I can, I will try to get him on. All right. Jamie and I go back about 30 years. So I'm going to see if I can try to get him on. Amtrak. That's the way I see it tonight. Next, Amtrak is putting out their new trains on the Pittsburgh to New York route. You know, Amtrak's got these faster trains, and they showed a picture of the inside of them, and they're like turbo trains. These trains really move. You don't sit in coach seats. You sit in seats like you're going on a bus. Like you're sitting on a public transit bus. Okay? Because the ride is going to be so fast that you're not going to be on there very long. So Amtrak is planning on, and they're going to be rolling them out in the next few years. And the Pittsburgh to New York route is going to be one of them. That's the way I see it tonight. Next, new website called Good Landlord Review. It's a website where you could rate your landlord, or you could put recommendations up for a landlord, or you could say that the landlord is a pig in a slum. And there are those out there. You know it, and I know it. All right. But this website, you have an opportunity to do so. And that's the way I see it tonight. Macy's closing another 125 stores over the next 3 years. You know what? Real soon, everybody, there's not the department stores, the brick and mortar are gone. Done. And Ames is trying to make a comeback. They're planning on this year, they're going to open up a few stores, and they're going to start making a comeback. And I'm hearing now that they have some sites picked to open up in Pittsburgh. Where, I don't know yet this time. But there are some sites that they're looking at. All right. Would you go to an Ames if it opened back up again? Okay. Ames was not a bad store. It bought out Hills. And then, it was a decent store. They just couldn't make it because of the almighty Walmart and the almighty Target. And when Target really got big up here, that is when it really got bad for Ames and some of these other stores. Big Lots. I told you on the last program, Big Lots is starting to close up stores. Okay? And now, I read a report today that some former employees of Ollie's are speaking out now about how Ollie's is ran. You know where Ollie's are? They're in some of the former Kmart's and Builder Squares, and they're in the Pittsburgh area here. They've expanded. They used to just be in Butler. Now they're in Monroeville. They're in out there in Shaler on Route 8. They're in West Mifflin. And they bought out like old Gander Mountain stores, old Kmart's, things like that. I'm hearing if you join their Ollie's Club, they beg you for a donation for a charity. Okay. I hear that there's some other things going on. I've been in Ollie's. I've shopped at Ollie's. It's not a bad place. Okay. There are some stuff that's cheaper than others. They buy things in bulk, or they buy things that are, that other stores can't sell, like most of these other places do. But some of these former employees say that ain't the case. And the working conditions, of course, are poor, just like everywhere else. That is the way I see it tonight about Macy's. Sad, but you know what? It's true. The internet is kicking everybody's butt. All right, the Pittsburgh International Airport has a baggage problem thanks to Southwest. Thanks, Southwest. You want to know what happened? I'll tell you. There's luggage everywhere at Pittsburgh International. You can't even walk. There's luggage all over the place down at the baggage claim area. They don't have enough drivers to deliver the luggage. They don't take it to people's homes. They don't have enough manpower to even process the luggage, I guess. But it's Southwest doing it again. All right. Now you see what they've done to Pittsburgh International. There you are. They don't care. That's the way I see it tonight. Really sad news. Some sad deaths around the nation and the world. Pope Benedict passed away. Sad to hear about him. Prayers for him. Barbara Walters and her family. Barbara Walters, reporter, passed away. All right. And today, Anita Pointer passed away. You know who Anita Pointer is? She's one of the Pointer sisters, the last of the Pointer sisters. The first one died in 2007. The second one died in 2020, and Anita was the last one. I can't remember the other names of the other ones, but yeah. So no more Pointer sisters. They'll be up in heaven singing their songs. Okay. He's so shy. Yeah, they'll be up there singing that. That's a guarantee. That's the way I see it tonight. Sad to hear about those deaths. My condolences for their families. Tesla has made $131 million last year in deliveries. Wow. You know, somebody said this once to me that's actually quite interesting. If our economy is so bad, why is the malls crowded? Why are people buying Teslas? If the economy is so bad and the inflation is so bad, why are people buying more luxury cars than ever? Right there is a classic example of our economy supposed to be bad, but we're buying Teslas. It's the way I see it tonight. Before COVID, risky driving was down. Now it's up more than ever before. More people are using cell phones. More kids are buying cars. They don't trust the public transportation systems. And it's not just here with PRT. It's everywhere. They don't trust the public transit system. They don't want to get on a bus. They don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to. There's a lot of things that are involved. They don't want to wait out in the cold. There's a lot of things. They want to wait for hours. They don't want to be late for work. I can understand that. But you have people now that are driving like their license comes out of a Cracker Jack box. And I don't know if it's just here. Maybe it could be. I possibly believe that to be the case because Pittsburgh drivers, and I mentioned this in the last show, are some of the worst. Okay? Some of the worst. And it's true. It really is true that it is the worst. Okay? I have never seen what I'm seeing now as far as driving goes. And I'm hoping, which probably won't happen with this new year, that maybe people will improve their driving skills. Or maybe they'll get off the road because they don't know how to drive. But I you know what? I have a better chance, I think, of getting struck by lightning than this happening. Okay? That tonight, it's the way I say it. 2023. What are you doing to change things for 2023 in your life? I've made some changes, and I'm sure you will too. Thank you for watching. Don't forget tomorrow night, 7 or 8:30 p.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, our platforms. Don't forget to also subscribe on my YouTube page, Ralph Williams as well. Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Avi Greenwald, Steve Belisario will be my guest. 2 national reporters will be on tomorrow with me on Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. Have a great night. Be safe. Thank you.